Good morning, everybody. Felt like fall this morning. My wife's not a big fan of the cold. I love the cold. So, nice 45 degrees. I'm happy with that. It'll probably start warming up though, but hey, puts me in a good mood right now. So, had a pretty nice run up on Friday. SPY did. The markets did. Everything was green. And we sort of consolidated. And, we we are seeing a little bit of rejection. So we're still a little overbought on higher time frames, so you just have to keep that in mind. And but we'll keep moving up because there's a lot of earnings going on, so it's gonna have to push the market up. And that's why I had that correction happening around December. Now everything is random, right? So it could happen, it could not happen, but we like to base an idea of if there is a possibility of a correction. People are always looking for that doomsday to happen. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't happen. If it doesn't happen, nothing changes. If it does happen, we get into more investments, right? Or it could be a very, very bear market, right? So we're trying to get out of this bear cycle. We're not necessarily in a bear market per se, but in a bear cycle. And and that's we'll see what happens with this the whole retail earnings and everything else that's going on. Anyways, so current levels for SPY, we're looking at right now. This morning it's down 0.3% from its high on 445 on Friday. We're down at 444. So we got some key areas that we need to go get above. And what's cool about Nessie is you have like these different charts for Nessie that are showing the best areas to buy, right? And we saw there was that run up where it held support, and it popped back up at 441. Okay, but on the lower time frame, if we go all the way down here, it was at 430, 432, and you can see the color of this candles that basically is showing like a frequency of a demand or supply zone, right? So the supply zone was pretty heavy here and it started pushing up. Okay, now there was a demand for price to keep continuing its trend, and that's what happened through here on this other chart, right? So it's just cool to look at these with the different color spectrums, but you can see which one would have been your best idea to get into, and that's definitely the supply zone. But a lot of people can't have that, don't have the patience to wait in the supply zone, right? So just food for thought when you're looking at a stock that's not moving as fast compared to when it was in supply zone, and the differences in the price between just a fast trend or something that happened. Hopefully that's not too confusing. But what we can do off these levels here is we can look at like some critical zones. Like 442 is a critical zone. So if it breaks that 442, we're breaking that previous resistance that became a support, right? And if it does, but we do have a couple of levels that maybe it's going to create a new range. So we have on the Nessie, we have 443, 443.37. Okay. So if it breaks past 443.47, then our last support here is at 440. So if SPY does any of this today, then we're going to go lower. Now, one thing I am looking at is on the momentum trend. I am seeing a downtrend a little bit right now. We'll see if this thing wants to hike back up. There's been evidence of that happening before, where it will show like a little downtrend and then it'll hike up a little bit, as you can see. So we can't just base that, just because the momentum trend is staying down. We're also going to look at the other levels that it could bounce. And if those break, then we will follow this downtrend. So I got min for this week. We have we're still in that, tighter zone, maybe like 418 zone if it did want to drop 425. And we have a little bit of squeeze zone at 450. And if it breaks the squeeze, then we go up to the 455s, and etc. So maybe we could see 453 by the end of the week, or we could see 425 by the end of the week. That's kind of the mid zone. Is about like 440. So 440 is kind of our stable zone. If we break above that, 453. Below that, 435, 425. So Bitcoin had a move up. It didn't hit all-time highs, but it got really close. And we're just paying attention now to this current level that it's at, right? This current level being the 62,000. Okay. Again, people were talking doomsday and stuff. Oh my gosh, crypto's going to crash. I mean, it could crash. It could go up to 100,000. We play either or. It doesn't matter. So, when it crashed last time, we still played it. So if it crashes and it goes down, we just get cheaper, cheaper prices. So that's good too. Yeah, but you see this level here, this 62.4. This is what we're paying attention to right now today. So if we get above this 62.4, then I think it's going to really start moving up into the 70,000s by the end of the week. Okay, so it's getting closer to the 100K sentiment. So we'll see what happens if we can get above. So current levels right now, because we are in the red. Current levels, we got 64 has to break through. Next would be that 70,000 that we talked about. So we might see a pullback first, and if we do see one of those pullbacks, you could and when you could say we did kind of hit one of those levels already. We hit 59,000, so it's already been tested once. So I would say if it wants to retest that 58 and break that 58, then we might go all the way back down to 53,000. So we're still very bullish for crypto. So yeah, 54,000, that was a pretty strong support. So any of those levels break for the 58,000, we go back to 53. We break that, then we go lower down to catch it at 50,000. All right, so what else we got? Tesla. Let's see if we're getting closer to our mark. So we said 840, we hit 840. Now we're looking at looking even higher, right? So you can see Nasty up here is rendering a purple resistance. It's either resistance or support. It's still very, very new, right? We haven't been moving that long, so it could easily break through this 849 or 850, if you will. And this is what I'm talking about here. So you can see how it was, kind of wanting to pitch down, and now it looks like it wants to continue on with this trend. So anybody that held those, longer calls for Tesla are probably going to be very happy this morning. So unless it does a significant pullback, and that's also possible. Anything's possible. So let's look at those significant levels. So one of them is 332. We could even get a closer one on the Nessie showing at 335. So 332, 335, watch for those levels. And let's just take a look at our bands. Let's see what kind of projection I can, wizard up today. Let's see. So wizarding up, I say 875. That's probably going to be the cap for Tesla. And we break that 875, we're going to stabilize above 875, and then we're going to move on to our 950, 978 range. All right. So if we stabilize above 875, our next level, is $100 up. Okay. If we break any of those levels, 832, and then we get back down to 820, right? We got 821 right here. If that breaks, then we go all the way back down to 780. So that's if we have, any significant hiccups in the market today or this week. Those are levels I'd look at. 781. So that's Tesla. So okay, so we have some earnings, right? The bigger earnings are going to be next week. So I apologize. I thought we were going to have some We have a lot of earnings, but we don't have like the big dogs playing quite yet. A couple of the earnings ones I am looking at is we have AT&T. Okay, AT&T has just been dead. I mean, they have just pulled this thing all the way down, right? Well, I still have my AT&T phone service. I don't know about you guys. So maybe they're trying to just get into a really healthy buy-in before this earnings happens, right? So even if it has like really bad results, it's still going to look bullish and besides bearish. So there's a couple of things I'm looking at. So on the 2-hour mark here, right, you can see it's all the way down in the lower variance bands, right? We've cracked it all the way down here at 25. So we know 25 is pretty critical. Okay, that critical level. We are showing currently that we are still bearish, right? Because we're not above this support at 26. And if you look at this support at 26 here, right, it's going to carry close to that VWAP on the 2-hour. So how do we play this current chart? Well, we got one little spot here on Nessie showing at 25.86. That's where we play it. So if we get above 25.86, the assumption that we're going to hit 26, and then we're going to start really pushing up, right? So maybe that happens, closer to the earnings. When is the earnings? It's 21st. So we have like a few days for this to play out. Maybe it goes sideways a little bit. Maybe it tries pushing down past 25. This is why we follow Nessie. Okay. The bands are very helpful, right? Because there's still that 80% chance of the price going back up. But Nessie helps in getting that more direct price action. And when you have both of these two on your charts, it's a winning strategy. Okay. So those are the levels I'm looking at. So let's see what what earnings are going to do, what AT&T is going to do today. But anyway, over 2602, we get past that. We got another level of resistance at 2660. Over that, then we're in that gray zone that we talked about in the class. If you guys missed the class, I apologize. I wasn't able to record it because I was going through the Discord, but I rest assured I will make sure that it's recorded and everybody's getting that information. The other thing I'm going to work on too for the algorithms is I'm getting in contact with maybe a whiteboard animation or something where I can break down or do a script, and then that whiteboard animation kind of explain the algorithms a little better than me trying to, because it is a very complicated thing to explain. And that's why we have these other things like Fiverr and stuff where people like this can kind of break it down easier, right? And that's the case because if people don't understand how to use the algorithms, they're not going to want to get them, and they're going to be intimidated by them. And I don't want that, right? Because once you do get the hang of them, it's very, very simple. And that's the magic of them, right? They're easier than following like a regular moving average because they give you more information than a moving average would give you, right? If you're just saying, oh, price is over the 50 EMA or below the EMA or whatever, right? That's bullish or bearish. But what happens though? Like, what's happening in those gray areas? Like, what's happening? That's what I want to know. Okay, because I don't want to just play over this certain level that's already been exploited, right? I want to know a safer entry that I can get into and play that and have a higher probability of making profit. So yeah, do I strike out sometimes in my options? Of course I do. Sometimes it's my error, right? I got into a stupid entry, or sometimes because we say it's at 80%, there is that little room for error, right? That's why we try to maximize in our risk tolerance and in our contracts, right? We don't want to go heavy in contracts, and it's great when they work out, but it's it can really mess with you if they don't. And I guess my question to you guys, and I'll get back to the TA, but my question to you guys is, why do you day trade? What's the purpose? What's the reason? Are you doing it for clout? Are you doing it for marketing? Are you doing it to establish income or a career in day trading? Are you doing it to create more time to hang out with your family or do your hobbies like I've said before? What's your reason? Comment below. Just comment below. Let me know what you do. Why you watch these videos. Why are you watching these videos? Are you doing it so you can learn, so you can make profit? But what are you doing with that money? So it's all just stepping stones, right? Even if you are successful in day trading, you got to go to the next level, right? So either that's marketing yourself and becoming a brand, or just getting into more financial stuff, right? Whatever you want to do. But anyways, that's what my big question to you guys is why do you day trade? So that's my one for AT&T. So we're gonna go Verizon real quick. Verizon, can you hear me now? Well, I hope that's what the investors are asking, because we are still very low in the green. I don't know why the telephone companies are playing so low, but or telephone or cell phone. I mean, what do you call them these days, right? But so we have a level that's holding right now, or kind of. Can you guys see that? Let me blow it up a little bit. There we go. You guys can see it better now, right? So we're holding above a support. See, it's a little fast forward. It's moving a little faster than AT&T, right? A little competition going on. That's why I feel like AT&T is going to move up, and I do feel like it's a smart thing to buy some of those calls today for AT&T. But we have a level here for Verizon at $50, right? We can say 51. If we break that 51, down here we got even lower levels. We know 50 is the level, right? 50.42. If we break 50.42, then we're going to go much lower. And I mean, they've already pushed it down quite a bit, and they bought some, right? And we're almost even to where the sell really started going haywire. Right now it's getting close to that VWAP on this 2 hour, and if we break above this 52.78, then we're going to go up into this past this in this gray zone area, but we're looking at $54, right? And it has earnings as well. And let's lo and behold, Verizon gets their earnings off first, right? So they're gonna get their earnings on the 20th. AT&T gets their earnings on the 21st. So, and that's kind of funny actually. But yeah, it is showing an uptrend. Just looking at our trend momentum here, you can definitely see that we're oversold on numerous time frames. Even the frequencies are showing buyers are kind of scattering in pretty soon. So I do think Verizon's also pretty healthy for some calls today. And yeah, that take profit zone that we're looking in, and this might take the all the way till Friday, but we got 54, and we got another level here I want to point out because this earnings is 56. If they really want to spike this thing up, but it might be a wick, right? It might hit 55, 56, and go back down to 54 and stabilize on that last deviation, right? So that's what I got for Verizon. Now let's get to BIIB. BIIB also has been getting hit nasty too, McNasty. So I like seeing these little McNasty little zones here. See if we can get a nice little pop up, cheap premiums. What's our earnings on BIIB? So BIIB's also on the 20th. So the thing that concerns me right now with this chart is, yeah, it's in the green on this lower spectrum, but look at this. We still got room to go down, right? And it's still aiming down. So it's going to be interesting what happens here. A safer play, right, was before when the sell happened here at this $300 on the 17th. We're currently tracking about 298 right now. So if we might get all the way up to 298, right, for Biogen, and and it might have another rejection. Okay, but how can we play this right now? Let's see. Let's see if Nessie's showing anything helpful. Because right now it looks like it's just been in a chop zone, very rangy. Okay, so we're gonna say that 279. Yes, we'll say 279.50 is our support, right? So if we break 279.50, then we're gonna get closer down to 262. Okay. And where do we got some? Yeah, so we're gonna say 284, right? So right now we're currently at 278. It's actually down 1% this morning. Um, if we can break this 284, that would be a safer call in my opinion, and then maybe we're going to see that 288, 290. So anything else we want to look at? Coin's been on a tear. It hit our levels with ease. Let's see if it's showing any resistance anywhere. So we do have a little bit of resistance on coin. Kind of keep that mindful. So we got 287 here that's showing some resistance. Yeah, and I would say if it breaks below 273, then we're going to go back down to like 266. Oh, and I was looking at AMC again. It's AMC still trying to stay in this like 35, for not 30. Well, it hit 35 when I'm saying like at 35 was showing a strong support. But something happened kind of funky on Nessie, and this might mean that we might be done with AMC. We'll have to see, but anything over 4084, is still going to be a bull run, or a bullish. So we get above 484, then we got another level here about 42, moving up to that 45, or actually we got a squeeze going on at 44. So we're finding some resistance. It's going to be interesting what happens with AMC. So right now we're about 50-50. If we break under $36, then we're going to go lower 28s, 25 like I've been talking about. Let's just check out Amazon. Kudos to people that got into those Amazon calls. There's just so much stuff going on in the markets, you can't see everything. But yeah, I mean, Amazon was on a complete tear. It's down 4% or 0.4% on the pre-market. We're 50% right now. So 330, 33.74 is our kind of our support we need to hold above, in that 50 zone. Currently, if we want to keep trending, we're at 33.87, so we need to stay above that. But yeah, we have a little bit more support down there at 31.84. So we got 31.84, and we got 30. Is that 31.84? Wow, that is really low. Okay, so 31.84 is pretty far down. Let's see if we got something closer on the 2-minute for a better support. Okay, so 32, 33. But Amazon moves pretty fast too. So what else we got? 33.46. There we go. So 33.46 we need to stay above. We start breaking 33.46, then we can get to these older supports. 32.30, 32.40 would be one of them. Currently, right now, we need to stay above 33.82. I know that was a ton of numbers, but where does that get us if we stay above at 3,500? So it's still projecting for 3,500. I think Amazon's going to hit it before it starts going back down. All right, guys, that's all I got for this morning. Again, thank you for the support. Thank you for the class. We had a great turnout, and it just motivates me to keep doing these things and teaching you guys how to use these special algorithms that I wrote to you guys can start making this profit that some of us have already been making using this system. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe. All right, man. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Peace.